Every love story begins with a promise, a whispered hope, a secret vow exchanged in the quiet corners of youth. For Maya and Liam, the future felt bright and endless, filled with laughter, echoing down sunlit streets and dreams scribbled in the margins of school notebooks. But what happens when that promise, so full of light, begins to twist and darken? When love's gentle touch becomes a shadow that follows you everywhere? This is the story of Maya and Liam, a couple whose fairy tale began with stolen glances and secret smiles, but slowly unraveled into something neither of them could control. On the outside, their relationship looked perfect, envied by classmates, admired by teachers. But behind closed doors, care and devotion were replaced by control, jealousy, and a growing sense of fear. It's a reminder that sometimes the most beautiful things, a perfect home, a loving gift, a sweet smile, can hide the most dangerous secrets. We must look beyond the surface, past the smiles and the small talk, to see the truth that hides in the shadows. As Liam's grip tightened, Maya's world grew smaller and lonelier. His love, once a comfort, became a cage she couldn't escape. The fear of losing him was replaced by the fear of what he might do if she tried. This isn't just a cautionary tale. It's a call to notice the warning signs, the sudden silences, the anxious glances, the friends who slowly disappear. Imagine love turning into a cage. Each day, the bars growing closer. That's what Maya faced, trapped by the very person she once trusted most. As we follow their story, ask yourself, what is our responsibility to each other? How can we help those whose pain is hidden behind a smile? Maya and Liam met in the bright, bustling halls of their suburban high school. She was outgoing, her laughter echoing off the lockers, while he was quiet and artistic, always sketching in the margins of his notebooks. Their first conversation happened by the art room, sunlight streaming through the windows. Maya grinned. "You're always drawing. What's your secret?" Liam just smiled, shyly tucking a strand of hair behind his ear. Their romance unfolded like a classic movie. Shared milkshakes at the corner diner, hands brushing as they walked home under golden autumn leaves. Endless conversations on park benches as dusk settled in. The air around them shimmered with hope. Friends whispered, "They're perfect together." At school dances, they moved as if the world had faded away. Liam's devotion was legendary. Love notes slipped into Maya's locker, sketches of her tucked into her backpack, a handmade card on their 1-month anniversary. "For you," he'd say, voice barely above a whisper. Maya felt cherished, special, her heart fluttering every time she found a new surprise. She believed, with the certainty only first love brings, that their bond was unbreakable. But as the seasons changed, the intensity that once felt so romantic began to shift, the air growing heavier with unspoken questions. Liam's constant attention, once sweet, started to feel like surveillance, his eyes always finding her in a crowd, his texts arriving the moment she stepped away. Romantic gestures came with expectations, each gift a silent promise, each note a question. "Will you always be mine?" The changes were subtle, easy to dismiss as passion. Maya told herself it was just love, that every couple had moments like these. No one saw the cracks forming beneath the surface, hidden behind smiles and whispered promises. The very things that made their relationship seem magical, the notes, the sketches, the memories, would become the seeds of its undoing, echoing with nostalgia and the ache of what once was. Devotion in love is healthy, until it quietly shifts into control. At first, Liam's attention made Maya feel special, cherished even. He'd walk her to class, bring her favorite snacks, and text her goodnight every evening. But soon, his concern for Maya's safety turned into constant questions. "Who are you with? When will you be home?" And endless check-ins that left her feeling watched. Liam started demanding her time, criticizing her friends, and insisting on being part of every aspect of her life. He'd show up unannounced, or get upset if she made plans without him. Maya began to feel isolated, cancelling plans to avoid conflict. She'd stare at her phone, torn between her friends and keeping Liam calm. She tried to keep the peace, but inside, she felt herself disappearing. The girl who once laughed freely now second-guessed every word, every choice. In her diary, Maya wrote about feeling trapped in a golden cage. She wondered if love was supposed to feel this heavy. On the outside, their life looked perfect. Inside, she was losing her freedom. She felt guilty for wanting space, afraid to disappoint him. The devotion that once felt safe now made her anxious. She worried about every message, every look, every word. She worried constantly about upsetting him, replaying conversations in her mind, searching for what she'd done wrong. The perfect boyfriend was becoming a controlling partner. The line between love and possession blurred, and Maya felt it tightening around her. Maya was starting to see the terrifying difference between devotion and control, between love and fear. After months of suffocation, Maya finally ended the relationship. The words felt heavy in her mouth, but she forced them out. "Liam, I can't do this anymore. I need to breathe." Liam's face twisted in disbelief. "No, Maya, you don't mean that. We're meant to be together," he insisted, his voice trembling between anger and desperation. Inside, Maya's thoughts raced, but she kept moving even as her heart ached. For Liam, the breakup wasn't an ending. It was a puzzle he had to solve. He told himself. He called and texted her relentlessly, waited for her at school, left gifts that now felt threatening. "Please, Maya, just talk to me. I can't sleep. I can't eat," his messages pleaded. His denial twisted love into obsession. He saw Maya as his property, not a person with her own needs. Maya felt haunted, anxious, and unsafe. She wondered, her mind replaying every argument, every promise, every threat. Her pleas for space were ignored. He saw them as challenges. "You'll see, Maya. You'll realize you need me," he muttered to himself. The breakup didn't set her free. It intensified his fixation. Both of them were trapped, but in different prisons. He was no longer her boyfriend, but he hadn't stopped being her keeper. And Maya, once in love, now felt only fear and regret. The love story was over, but the obsession had just begun. The aftermath lingered, a shadow neither could escape. Liam was determined to keep their story alive, even if he was the only one living in it. And for Maya, the end was just the beginning of something much darker. As the months slipped by, Liam's obsession with Maya only grew deeper, consuming his every thought. In the shadows of his basement, he began to construct a secret shrine, an altar to a love that had slipped through his fingers. Every photo, every memento, every small belonging of Maya's became a sacred relic. He arranged them with trembling hands, each item a memory he refused to let go. Liam spent countless hours in that dim sanctuary, whispering to her image, rearranging keepsakes, and fueling the fantasy that she was still with him. The shrine became his only comfort, a place where he could pretend their love was unbroken. The shrine was more than a retreat. It was a prison of longing and delusion, feeding his belief that their love was eternal, even as reality slipped further away. While Maya moved on with her life, unaware of the shrine's existence, Liam's obsession twisted into something darker, festering in the shadows. The day the shrine was discovered, everything changed. The secret world Liam had built was exposed, shattering the illusion and sending shockwaves through everyone who knew him. For Maya, the revelation brought fear and confusion. For Liam, it marked the collapse of his fantasy, leaving only the darkness he had tried so desperately to escape. The warning signs were there, scattered in plain sight, but no one put them together. Friends dismissed Liam's behavior as heartbreak, not obsession. They joked about his late-night texts and shrugged off his constant questions about Maya. Maya's family saw her anxiety, but thought it was sadness. Her parents noticed her locked door and falling grades, but assumed it was just teenage moodiness. Teachers saw Liam waiting for Maya, but thought it was persistence. One teacher even read Maya's essay about feeling trapped, but didn't ask more. Society often romanticizes relentless pursuit, blinding us to danger. Classmates called it true love, and social media posts cheered Liam on. Maya felt watched, scared and alone. Her instincts screamed danger, but she doubted herself. She deleted messages, afraid no one would believe her. In her diary, she wrote, "I just want to feel normal again. I'm so scared of what he might do." She underlined, "Why won't anyone listen?" Her fears were minimized, her warnings ignored. Even when she tried to reach out, her words were brushed aside or lost in the noise. Each missed sign was a missed chance to help. An unopened email, a friend's silence, a teacher's busy day, all became part of the pattern. We must learn to listen when someone says they are afraid. Every small sign matters, because sometimes it's the only warning we get. On February 2nd, the quiet of the neighborhood was shattered. Liam's obsession, which had simmered beneath the surface for months, finally erupted into violence. Unable to accept life without Maya, Liam made his way to her house, his mind clouded by desperation and heartbreak. The confrontation that followed was chaotic and heartbreaking. Shouts echoed into the night, and by the time police arrived, tragedy had struck, leaving two families broken and a community in shock. In the aftermath, police searched Liam's home. In a dark, cluttered basement, they uncovered a secret shrine, a chilling museum of a love that had turned into obsession. The discovery was horrifying. The shrine was filled with photos, notes, and stolen mementos, evidence that this was not a sudden act, but the final step in a long, dark descent. News of the shrine sent shockwaves through the community. Friends and family were left reeling, haunted by guilt and regret, replaying every missed warning sign and wondering if they could have stopped the tragedy. The story dominated headlines. The shrine became a symbol of unchecked obsession, a warning of the dangers that can grow in silence and secrecy. In the weeks that followed, the community gathered to mourn and reflect. The tragedy forced everyone to confront the thin line between love and possession, and the devastating consequences of ignoring the signs. Maya and Liam's story is a tragedy, but it must also be a lesson, a call to look inward and outward, to grow and to act. Love supports freedom. Obsession seeks control. True love encourages growth, not fear. We must challenge myths that romanticize possessiveness and teach that real love feels safe, not suffocating. Let's talk openly about healthy boundaries and respect. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Listen to your inner voice, and don't be afraid to speak up. Be the friend, parent, or teacher who listens and believes. Sometimes, just being there can change everything. Stalking is not romance. It's a crime that creates fear and isolation. If you feel unsafe, know that your feelings are valid and you deserve support. Recognize and name these behaviors for what they are. Knowledge is power. Learn the signs and help others see them too. If you see yourself in Maya's story, know you're not alone. Reach out for help. Healing is possible, and there are people who care. Let's honor Maya by learning from her story and building a world where love never becomes a cage. Choose kindness, choose courage, and remember, every day is a chance to write a new chapter for yourself and for others.